Welcome to Savour Muskoka, a snapshot of some of the local culinary experiences in Muskoka and Parry Sound. My name is James Murphy, and each week I explore the culinary experiences that await you in Muskoka region. Many people are unaware of the abundance of arable land in Muskoka, north of Toronto, that has allowed many local farmers to make a living. Aside from selling products at local markets or to distributors, the farmers in the area work with local chefs in getting the product on local menus. Savour Muskoka is an organization that helps with this process of linking farmers to local culinary chefs in the region. Today I'll be featuring local honey from the Muskoka region, and I'm here with Jim Smith visiting at his farm in order to learn a little bit about local honey. Well, good morning, Jim.
Better known as Poppa Jim.
Poppa Jim, the sweetest guy in Muskoka. So Jim, today we're going to extract some honey or take a look at some of your hives in order to take some honey out to Ken Schulz at Delta Grandview. So why don't you start off by telling me what we have here today?
Okay, we have a couple of new colonies that started late in June. They do have honey, and I'm going to put my sweatband on because the sweat, when it gets on your glasses,
I'll put my hat on.
You can't see your ladies.
Honey safari today.
So now we're going to get our face protected with a hat and a veil. And we're going to get into the bees shortly.
So how long have you been working with chefs here in Muskoka? Jim?
Since Savour Muskoka started. Was that 5 years ago?
4 years ago. 4 years ago. And do you enjoy working with local chefs?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We're going to get into this first hive colony.
Okay.
Down here on the bottom is where the queen lays her eggs. Up on top is where the worker bees store their honey.
So how many hives do you have in total?
Probably 45.
45.
You see the nice, delicious honey right here, and the lady worker bees.
Well, now that we have some honey from you, Jim, we're going to make our way to Delta Grandview and see what the chef has prepared for us today. Well, here we are in the kitchen at Delta Grandview Resort in beautiful Huntsville with Executive Chef Ken Schulz. We'll produce some dishes using local honey that we were at earlier today. Ken has grown up in Muskoka and has experience as well as long-standing relationships with farmers in the area. The menus here at Delta Grandview, created by Ken, highlight his Swiss, German, and Austrian influences, and it is very evident that local food appears in the dishes he prepares. After spending time at properties throughout Muskoka, Ken ended up at the Delta Grandview, where his talents and experience proved to be an asset to this popular resort. So we're here today with Ken, and hi Ken, how are you?
Hi,
Good
James.
to see you.
Welcome.
So we just came from Poppa Jim's beehives, a couple stings later, and we're ready here to get started with a couple dishes you've got for us. So how about you tell me what you've got planning on preparing today?
What we plan on preparing today is local lettuce.
Okay.
And just a very simple salad with a honey rice wine vinaigrette with local honey.
Okay.
Of course, local lettuce. And then we're going to do Ontario rack of lamb with a Palmieri mustard honey glaze.
Sounds good. My mouth's watering already just talking about it.
Excellent. So we'll get started here. We're just going to make a quick vinaigrette. Any vinaigrette is always a ratio of 3 to 1. We're going to use rice wine vinegar.
Okay. So we're using local honey, and what's special about this local honey compared to other honeys that you've used throughout your experience?
Well, the honey is all natural. It's not as sweet. It's not processed.
Right.
I find that every area that honey comes from has different flavors. It's great. It depends on what it's grazing on, whether it's the grass, the leaves, the different flowers.
Right.
And in the different seasons has different flavors of honey. So what we're going to do is just add some great honey from Poppa Jim, from our local bees that he has right here on property.
And how long have you been working with Poppa Jim for?
I've been working with Poppa Jim for 2 years now.
And you've mentioned that you have some of his hives right on property.
We have 6 hives now on property with an area where you can view when he's taking off the honey. So it's a nice, safe area where it's all screened in and we won't get the bee stings like we did earlier today.
Delicious. We'll put that to the side.
And then we're going to do Ontario lamb, which I cleaned earlier.
Excellent.
Racks are all ready to go. We're just going to
So what are we going to do with this lamb again? We're going to put a honey crust on it, or?
No, we're just going to cook it and we're just going to put a glaze on it afterwards.
Okay.
A honey and pommery mustard glaze, which I have prepared earlier with honey.
I can really smell the local honey in that.
They don't use a lot of pesticides. They don't use it. It's mostly organic. And the flavors are there, especially, you know.
So you don't have to do a lot of extra work when you're using local foods. The food speaks for itself.
We sometimes let this known as our quin salad.
Our quin salad.
She's the one that came up with it. And we use local lettuce and tomatoes and local honey in there just for to bring out the flavors. The lettuce doesn't need much. It just the honey basically just tantalizes and bring the flavors out.
Well, I know Quinn, so the colorful salad truly reflects Quinn's colorful nature. So
it does.
It's very fitting salad.
And then we have on our Ontario rack of lamb with a pommery mustard and honey glaze over top of it, and our local vegetables and our fingerling potatoes.
You can truly see why you place importance on local ingredients, as it makes a difference with the food. Thank you again for having me here today at Delta Grandview and letting us enjoy every last bite. If you'd like more information on Ken Schulz or Delta Grandview, please visit our website, www.savourmuskoka.com. And remember, next time you're visiting the region of Muskoka, be sure to look for the Savour Muskoka logo and savor the flavor of the region. Thank you again, Chef, for having me. Cheers.